Hi there, my name's Jason Williams, and in this video I'm finally going to do something with these rainwater tanks. You see one behind me, one to the side. Put them alongside this shed because I want to catch my own water, put a pressure pump on it, plumb it back into the main line coming into the house after the water meter, so that I want to see how long I can run on my own water for. And so I'm going to catch water off this shed, hopefully the next shed over, and part of the house, and that you'll see as this video develops. But first I've got to move these out of the way and get this area here all prepped, ready to ready as a pad, ready for the tanks to go on. Being that this video is going to have a whole lot of time-lapse videos in it, as it's a fairly lengthy process to do this, that's just me using the winch on the old 80 series Land Cruiser and pulling both the tanks out of the way and getting ready to prepare the pad. And this was all quite an exciting process. Well, it wasn't exciting, it just took me an awful long time. And so here you see evidence of me doing this all manually, you know, digging up each wheelbarrow and taking it down there. I had to record this and in quite detail like this because I knew I would look back at it one day and go, wow, I did all that by hand. And although it was physically, you know, demanding doing it, it was incredibly satisfying. Alright, so I've dug all this out by hand, flattened it, and screened it with this piece of RHS and level that I've left over there. Either way, I've got it level and flat, and I've still got to put a 100mm pad of sand down. So I'm about to get this old 80 series and just run over it a bunch of times, maybe wet it and run it over and compact it a little bit, you know, nothing major, before I put the sand down. So I've got one tank there and the other tank's on the slab in front of the shed. And you'll probably notice I've dug all this dirt and moved it with a wheelbarrow all by hand and put it down there. And it's just insane. I mean, a lot of work, but you know, I was so impatient. A friend of mine, or the neighbour over the road, he was going to get his bobcat and we were going to do it, and we had organised it for next weekend, and I sort of, you know, I got really impatient with myself, and I was like, I'm not going to wait for that. I'll just do it by hand, see if I can do it. And yes, you can do it. It was fairly easy digging, but still a lot of work. All right, let's compact this with this. And so yes, as I previously just said, I am now using the old 80 series to run back and forth over it a whole bunch of times. This won't, it like leveled it out, smoothed it out, compacted it a little bit, but that's no, like, you know, it's no comparison to what you can do using a compactor. But that wasn't so, you know, that wasn't so important at this point in time. And as you can see, that was Mocha, my dog. She's the supervisor. And, you know, I wetted it, compacted it, and then I brought the sand in, or someone else brought it in with a truck, got it in around the corner, and I, again, all of it had to be done by hand. You know, I was far too impatient to wait for anyone to be ready, and had to be in my bonnet. I'm like, no, I want it done now. As very typical of me. You know, nothing's ever quick enough, and so I, you know, doing this by hand I couldn't believe the amount of appreciation you get for a job doing it by hand, and there even screeding it by hand, which was actually probably one of the hardest tasks, was actually the whole process of screeding it and getting it level by hand. You know, that was surprisingly tedious and took a very long time. I didn't record it all. That was about all of that. And then I went on and I made a little channel down the side of the shed and laid some plastic down. And I filled this with
rock, which you might be able to see later, but not just yet, because now I'm about to get the compactor out and start compacting it. You know, I would start, you know, I'd wet it. You know, bit by bit I would wet it and go around compacting it. And I did this lots of times. I spent a couple of hours compacting it just to make sure it would, you know, it was thoroughly compacted, because I didn't want the tank sinking. I've heard many stories of people having rainwater tanks, when they get full, sinking and sloping over time. So I thoroughly compacted it as best as I possibly could. This process of backwards and forwards, round in circles, left and right, every different direction I did, and it came out quite good. And this is me filling up that spillage drain with rocks. This is for the flush, and then if I open any of the flushes on any of the downpipes and drains. And from there, I began towing with the winch, using a winch block off one of the stumps that was still left there, which at this point has been dug up and removed. And I pushed the tanks in with the Land Cruiser, and I used the winch, and it was all a bit, you know, it was here and there, but it all worked quite well in the end. As you will see, all the tanks in this next bit are all situated in place.
Alright, so the tanks are in, and now that's this little drainway is just for excess water, if so be, if I drain the flushes. You know, I've still got to finish that bit yet, just out to the edge of the corner of the concrete. And now at the moment, I'll walk around here. As I'm going down, I'm going to actually do the balancing pipe, or the feed for the pump, and balance the two tanks, because the water's only going to be running into this tank here, and there's about 700 mil between them two. And if I walk this way around here, this is the flush. This is a flush of just, I've only done the down pipes for this shed first, just very quickly, a little bit messy, but I was in a mad rush yesterday, as it was forecast to rain last night, and I was like, oh, quick. So I didn't get a video. I was just mad rushing around like a maniac, and turned out it didn't even rain. That's what you get, right? And so this is it here. Just the little down pipe, and all ready to go. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna rain probably today, but at the moment, now I'm gonna make that balancing pipe, or the pump feed pipe, and hook them together, and hopefully that'll hopefully we'll start filling these up. So it's starting to threaten to rain now, which is okay, but it's because I'm doing this, I suppose. Alright, so I'm using poly fittings, as I've got a lot of poly pipe and bits and pieces, and so I wrap the thread tape. The trick is make sure you use a fair bit of thread tape, but always go the same direction as the thread, so as though you're doing the thread tape up on the fitting. This doesn't bunch up that way, and it seems to hang in there and hold a seal. And be fairly generous with it, because this is what's going to help create the seal. I don't know how many times I wrapped that, but I think that'll do. Making sure you don't cross-thread it. Once more, and that'll be nice and tight. See how that goes. May have to later the beauty of this is I can undo these and retension them and check them. After it's been filled with water, I can just turn them off and undo them, and if there's any leaks. Alright, next bit. Since some of these parts are second hand, got a bit of old thread tape on them, I'll try and remove what I can of the old thread tape, just because that'll might not, but it can cause it to leak.
And the next bit in these time lapses, I cut the balancing pipe or pump feed pipe, and attaching all the little bits and pieces, putting thread tape on them all, winding them all up, preparing them all, getting all the right length, and then I start, whacking it together, which was, it's getting, as you will see, I'll hopefully attach a bit of video of it raining fairly heavily, and it's that bit of rain that you'll see. It's filled the tanks a little bit, not all the way obviously, as it's crazy, amazing, it's getting heavier. Well, if this doesn't fill up the water tanks, I don't know what will. Ooh, that sounds like a little bit of hail. Wow, this is amazing, nothing short of unreal. Amazing, some serious rain. Whoa, it sounds like it's hailing. Oh, I think there's hail. Nah, can't see any. Oh, a little bit. Awesome. Alright, so this is where I am at. The overflow pipe's done, right? And I've got it leaning on the ladder because I've dug all this area out underneath it. And that's for this tank, but I'm going to put a sand pad down and compact it. So this is the sand over here. And yeah, I'm going to level all that out, pave it. You can see I've put a few pavers around. That's just to stop things washing away and for me to get a rough idea on what I'm going to do, as I've got lots of those pavers. And yeah, I guess fill that up with sand, prep all this for the little bit of paving along the front, and obviously pave a fair bit where the sand pad is. Yeah, and see how that goes. Sweet, let's do it. And so the next step was filling up these little spots that I dug out for the other spillage tank or overflow tank, and shoveling it out, raking it, bringing all the sand into these intricate areas and spreading it all manually. And so I was, this, as again, like I've previously mentioned, this video is a great way for me to reflect back on the fact that I manually did all of this, and it was an incredible experience, in as much as, when I look at it, I can have appreciation for what I did. And like in all fashion, I compacted it, not very level. I didn't do that pad for the pavers very level. It was very temporary because I knew I would pull it all up again. And but yeah, I compacted it, shuffled the tank into place, and yeah, lined it all up, and I got pretty happy with it. And then I started to remove the this is where the actual overflow is going to go forth and blend into the pipes that are already there, so that the total overflow can run out to the road, which was a legal requirement when I did the approval for this, because this is all I had to get approval to put water tanks in, and same as building the shed, I had to get Shire approval to build all this and have it all certified.
Alright, so here's where I'm at. I've done a heap of like very temporary paving. That's just to stop all the dirt blowing away. The balancing pipe's connected. And over here, the overflow is into this little physical barrier, this little tank, and the downpipe for that is done. And I've not covered it up properly yet. This is just all I've got left to do is fill it with dirt. And if I just sort of scramble up here, that was a fitting that I put in like an elbow rather than a T-piece. Sorry, I put a T-piece in there rather than an elbow, just so I could join into it, and then that goes off and heads to the road. Excuse the weeds, that's all got to come out. And that's the overflow side of it. So if you can imagine, you know, I'll show you here from this direction, is when it's flowing heavy rain and the road is running like a river, which happens, water has the potential to push up this pipe from the main road, and if it goes up here and pushes up, it will get up into this tank, right, and it'll fill and it'll spill out here. It won't be able to, it won't be able to get up in this pipe because there's elbows and some T-pieces and stuff to get up, and then there's another elbow up. So that's my physical barrier between contaminants. Alright, let's wrap this video up. Alright, well that's my, this video is my ambition to never pay for water again. You know, I hope to fill these up and run the whole house continually. You know, we'll see how that goes. I've got to end this video here because I haven't got the right, I haven't got everything I need to finish off the job. And thank you very much for watching. I'm hoping to obviously never pay for water again. I mean, I'll pay the connection fee, obviously, and that way I can, I can have water there if I need it. Just I won't be paying for the use of water. I'll be catching my own, hopefully. I guess we'll see how this video, or we'll see how this develops, and when I update it, when I finish it and do the pump. Yeah, alright. Thank you very much for watching, and I will aspire to see you in the next one. Cheers. Ta.